Hello viewers, and welcome to a brand new episode of Trashtalk on Fabula Ultima, High Fantasy Edition, a series where I talk about the various classes you can mix together to create your desired heroic characters in your Fabula Ultima campaign. In today's episode, Symbolist. Finally, a class that perfectly represent me, including how old I'm feeling right now. Symbolist, calligrapher, painter, rune maker, words have power. Symbolists are people that makes it more than just a metaphor, weaving supernatural energies into paintings, runes, and more. In terms of mechanic, symbolists can both be a support class and be a real pain in the ass that, as the name implied, can draw symbols onto any creature, granting them effects that can be good or really bad, that also lasts forever, and the only way to remove them is to ask the symbolist politely, or if you are a villain, spending a whole damn Ultima point just to delete it. How exactly do you draw a symbol? You need 2 inventory points for it, and you can't have too many of it out at once, both serving as its primary drawback, but other than that, any kind of character builds can easily have the slot in, as sufficient inventory point is the only requirement, which is helped out by the symbolist's free benefit, somewhat. Anyway, let's talk about the symbolist skill, starting with magic symbols. Magic symbols, somehow not the skill you need to actually cast symbols. If an ally bears one of your symbols, that ally may destroy it to perform a spell that you know, as long as it has a total MP cost of equal or lower than up to 30 MP, they also still have to pay the cost. In essence, any spell your character know, can be used by a complete beginner in magic that have only solved problem with a sharp stick. This is especially useful with spells that don't need to roll dice for, you just do it. Spells like heal or cleanse will be very useful in situation where the symbolist is currently unable to cast spell. Of course, you do need to know a spell or two for your allies to be able to cast them, and they still need MP to do it. It's useful, but situational. And also, not a direct proof that you need to be a spellcaster to mix in Symbolist effectively. You can just not pick the skill, and not learn a single spell, and you will still do fine with Symbolist. Second, Mirage. You gain the ability to perform rituals of ritualism discipline. You can also use it to make site-based illusion and stuff. Exactly what it said really. You wanna make pretty things, go ahead. You wanna make horror just within human comprehension, also go ahead. Third, personal touch. When a creature you see that bears your symbol suffer damage or recover HP and or MP, you may have that creature suffer up to 5 extra damage or recover 5 more HP and or MP respectively. You want your allies to recover more, you can. You want your enemies to suffer more, also can. You can even make it worse with some symbol. Fourth, symbolic connection. You always know the exact direction to find a creature that bears your symbol as long as it's within 2 travel days worth of distance. So, I know this is just a skill to always know where to find an enemy once you mark them, but also the implication of this spell is a bit horrifying, and I can see why people don't want to get a symbol on them even if it's beneficial. Ah yes, I totally wish to have a symbol on me that's quite hard to get rid of, lasts essentially forever, that also lets someone know essentially my exact position all the goddamn time. Fifth, symbolism. This is the skill you need to actually do Symbolist thing. Each time you pick the skill, you learn 2 symbols out of 19, you may have up to 6 symbols active at a time. If you create more, you must destroy some of the old ones for space. To apply the symbol, you perform the inventory action and spend 2 inventory points for the symbol, then you can apply to yourself, to your allies, or perform a free attack that does no damage to mark a target or multiple with a symbol. Each copy counts as separated symbols to the limit. Altogether, this means that you can learn at max 10 out of 19 available symbols, giving you quite a wide variety of options to apply to 6 people, or 6 victims, and there really is a lot of symbols to go for. Compared to the dances of the dancers, which are quite straightforward, symbols from the symbolists seem to never be straight about what they do, or do things literally impossible for other classes. There's so many of them I'm not even sure what some of the use cases are for them aside from acting as an interesting passive buff for allies, like increasing multi-target spells to 4 targets, or somehow get free money from using the power of friendship. Where is the money from Symbolist? Is this counterfeit Xena? There's also some that are clearly made for enemies, whether that's reduce MP cost on spells against them, or make them hurt when they do certain action, somehow changing their species type for skill and effects. How does that even work? Or just hit them really hard, again. Whether it's support, defense, or being incredibly annoying, Symbolist seems to be able to do all of it with the right symbols, and considering the buffing symbols can be cast on allies before a battle, knowing how a fight goes can be a tremendous advantage for a team with a Symbolist in it. You can sorta think of the Symbolist as a cult version of Tinkerer, that's probably also less game breaking, though that might not be true with a couple heroic skills, more on that later. After putting 10 levels into Symbolists, it is now considered as mastered and you can pick a heroic skill for it. In total, there's 6 Symbolist specific heroic skills, 3 in High Fantasy, 2 in Natural Fantasy, and 1 in the 6th Fabula Ultima bonus supplement. First up, Arcane Mark, which can also be unlocked by Sharpshooter and Weapon Master. It's a heroic skill where if you attack with arcane category weapons, you can do damage and also potentially give your offensive spell a higher chance for critical success against the same target again, useful if you are playing magic using Symbolist that sometimes shoot Fire Bolt. Second, Clean Slate, you may spend an action and up to 30 MP to choose a creature you can see for every 5 MP, each creature chosen this way recovers from all status effect and is no longer affected by any spell with the duration of scene. To summarize, this heroic skill combines both cleanse and dispel spells and also reduce the cost to cast them, an insane recovery spell to say the least. That's technically not a spell by the way because it didn't say so. And lastly, there's Ritual Seals. This is a bit long but the summary of this heroic skill is you can just store a ritual at some location and make them happens automatically to a certain condition, as long as the ritual MP cost equal to or lower than 60 MP, and after the condition has been made, you just roll the magic check to see if it happens or not, even if you are not there physically or you are unconscious. This has massive narrative implication. What you are doing is essentially setting up a magic landmine and then you just walk away, and it will work as soon as some idiot triggered the condition, and the condition can be anything, even if it's just as simple as I have entered crisis. Symbolist has always been a class that can do a lot to prepare for combat even before a fight even start, but this heroic skill basically turns Symbolist into goddamn Batman. Yes, I can totally win any fight as long as I have enough prep time for it, and knowing Symbolist, that's probably not even a lie. There's a lot of things you can do with Ritual, you just gotta be creative about it. Just one tiny problem, you do still have to roll for magic check when it's activated even after all those preparations, and that can potentially fizzle out, so take note. Moving on to Natural Fantasy, first there's Bend Magic, which can also be unlocked by Elementalist, Entropist, and Invoker, and also requires invocation skill from Invoker, so we are moving on. Next there's Ephemeral Tranquility, which can also be unlocked by Dancer, Esper, Rogue, and Spiritist, but essentially requires hallucination and torpor spells from Spiritist anyway to apply status effect hell on your target and then explode them. As Symbolists themselves don't really have a way to apply status effects, you gonna want some levels into Spiritist to make use of this heroic skill. And lastly, onward to the 6th Fabula Ultima bonus supplement, there's a Feuda Mastery. Finally we can talk about this one, which can also be unlocked by Arcanist, Merchant, and Spiritist, and requires the Symbolism skill from Symbolist. Long story short, when you use Symbolism skill in conflict, you may spend 20 MP instead of inventory points, thus automatically making the skill one of the more stupidly powerful one for Symbolist if only it wasn't limited by the during a conflict part. This essentially doubled how many symbols you can make before having to resupply somewhere, and MP recovery is a lot easier to do than inventory point resupply, and also, the second half of this heroic skill is just you can also murk birds with symbols now even with a melee weapon, not even the avian will escape you. And just to highlight the stupidity further, you can also mix in Tinkerer class into your character for the Deep Pocket heroic skill that lets you make symbol for only 1 inventory point, which is stupid, but we can get stupider with Tinkerer alchemy stuff to just make potion that can give you all the MP, thus allowing the Symbolist Tinkerer to throw so much symbolism out that it turns any Fabula Ultima campaign into Persona. You know, I was just joking when I said how Symbolist is like playing Batman, but now it doesn't feel like a joke and more like a threat. And that's basically it on Symbolist, magic symbol drawing artist that really enjoys adequate amount of drawing materials. That's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe and click that notification bell button. If you want to see the videos early as well as further support my channel, you can join in my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.